What is love? I've been in love many times. Like, many times. I've loved all my girlfriends, to be honest. And, the more I think about it, the more I think about love in my romantic relationships and, the amazing feelings that I get from it. And it's almost like it's like a drug, almost, It's like, this euphoric feeling in this state of mind that makes you feel high, almost, You're not in your right state of mind when you're in love, and you tend to overlook things that you shouldn't overlook, if that makes sense. It's like you're literally not in your right state of mind. You're not thinking logically, you're not thinking critically, it's just pure emotion. And the more I step out of that, and the more I become MGTOW, and the more I think about what it really is, the more I realize is that it's just a biological trick that our mind plays on our body in order to facilitate reproduction. I mean, it's an illusion created by our mind. It sparks little chemicals in there in order to convince you to reproduce, and that's what it all boils down to. And I didn't see that before until I took the red pill, until I stepped out of the matrix and became MGTOW. Is that the purpose of love and lust, which is essentially the same thing, is to guide us into reproduction. That's all it is. Love is basically a sex drug. Is what it is. It's a sex drug. It's a drug in order to convince your mind to have sex and reproduce. I mean, it doesn't seem that way, but if you really think about it, I mean, what else could be the purpose of love? I mean, love is insane behavior. It's crazy. I mean, think about it. The things that you do when you're in love, it's a socially acceptable form of insanity. It's something that I don't want to fall back into. And I'm going to try my best to prevent that from happening again. They say there's love at first sight. And it's true. There's love at first sight. You see somebody, and they seem like a person that you want to reproduce with. This is all subconsciously, of course. They're attractive, which means they're a good mate for you, basically, and you fall in love instantly. It's literally chemical reactions going off in our brain in order to keep us reproducing. And that's all that sex is. Sex is just a tool for us to reproduce. It's the reason why it feels so freaking good, is because our mind is literally playing a trick on us to keep us having babies. If love didn't didn't exist, and if sex wasn't enjoyable, human beings would have went extinct a long time ago. And I know that some people actually believe that there's more to that than just reproduction. They think it's more to love than just reproduction. I know some people choose to believe that. And I can understand why, because I used to believe that as well. I used to think it was more to love than just sex and having babies. But the more I think about it, the more I realize that it's not. It's not. It's an illusion. It's, human beings, for the most part, we don't think about having babies. I mean, a lot of people don't want to have babies. So what our minds does in order to facilitate that process because nature, it wants us to keep reproducing so our species can survive. But if people don't really want to have babies like that, then nature has to convince us in another way to have babies. You know? And that's what love is about. You know, I know it's hard to believe because what we've been taught what love is and how we feel that love is, because when we're in love, we're not thinking about having babies. We're just infatuated with this person. We're obsessed with this person. This person makes us feel things that we never felt before. So we don't think love is about having babies and continuing the cycle of life. But that's what it is. It serves no other purpose. You know, if love wasn't about having babies and whatever, then it's literally pointless. It's literally pure insanity if it wasn't about that. You know. And we find that after we get married and have children, that we aren't really in love anymore. Why? Because the job is done. Our brain said, well, we've done our job. We don't have to keep him in love anymore. We don't have to keep him insane anymore. That should be temporary. You know. If you take your emotions out of it and really think about what love is, then you'll arrive at this conclusion that that's all it's about. It's an illusion. It's a trick that our mind plays on us in order for us to continue the cycle of life. You know, so if you don't want to have any more kids, then what is the purpose of falling in love? If you don't want to get married, then what is the purpose of falling in love? You know, I'm gonna give you guys a story. I went to the bank a few months ago. I had to open up a banking account, and it takes a while to open up a banking account, and the person that was helping me was a attractive older female, and we struck up a conversation, and we had a great conversation, and it was amazing. I was telling her my interest, and she was telling me her interest, and I was telling her my background, and she was telling me her background, and I was telling her what I want my future to be, and she was also telling me where she wanted her future to be. And out of the blue, you know, she said, she told me what time she gets off of work and the days that she works. Out of the blue. Now, I didn't think anything of it at the time. I was like, okay, that's nice. And we continued on conversation, and she said, you know, she was purposely prolonging opening up my banking account. I didn't realize she was doing this. I mean, I was in there for about an hour. You know, she was purposely doing this. And I realized that she was pretty much waiting for me to ask her out on a date or whatever. So I wouldn't do it because I am MGT. She doesn't know this, of course, so she asked me, you know, would you like to continue this conversation some other time after this? And, you know, I already told you what days I get off work. I already told you what days I work and what days I don't work and what time I get off work. And I said, no, thank you. I have a girlfriend. I can't do that, which is a lie. I just couldn't think of anything else to say that was spot on. And I don't like to lie because it's phony, it's fake. But I feel like that's what I had to do in that particular situation. And the reason I did that was because I didn't want to fall back into this cycle of dating, getting into a serious relationship, having kids, breaking up, paying child support. It's a cycle. Being kept away from your children growing up thinking you're a deadbeat. It's a cycle. I did not want to fall back into that. So as soon as she said that, I can already see where it was going. It was going back into the whole love process, Now I can literally spot it for what it is. And I can literally stop it before I fall back into that trap. Because it doesn't last forever. The high of love wears off. The next thing you know, you have another kid and this woman is driving you crazy because you don't want to be with her anymore. And the arguments, and it's just not worth the trouble to even fall back into it. And she was cool about it. She wasn't upset about it. I didn't hurt her feelings at all because I told her that I had a girlfriend, and she understood, she empathized with me because I guess she put herself in my girlfriend's shoes. How would she feel if, I was doing that to her? I don't like to lie, but sometimes that's just what you got to do. Because if I would have told her the truth, that I don't want to go out with her just because I don't, then that may have hurt her feelings. That may have, if I would have told her that I'm MGTOW, she would have thought that I was crazy or that I was gay or whatever. So sometimes you gotta lie. Sometimes that's just what you gotta do. Yeah, that's my story for you guys. I just wanted to tell you guys, in case you find yourself in a similar situation where a girl asks you out or whatever and you don't know what to say, just say you have a girlfriend and that you're in love, and women will understand. Sometimes telling them the truth isn't the right thing to do. That's all I have, guys. Thank you for watching my YouTube video, and thank you for subscribing, and thank you for the comments, and thank you for everything. I really appreciate it. Like I said before, I'm still currently working on my book. It's turning out well, and you guys will find it on Amazon.com whenever I get finished with it. It may be a month or maybe 2 months from now. I don't know. But thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Take care. God bless.